Hello, you're most welcome to the Nilecast on Westnile Television, where we give you the daily news bulletins of the day, every day from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. My name is Ukumaringa Christine. Before we dive into any of the stories, let's first have a look at the news making headlines. In the headlines tonight, late Justice Stella Alach Amoko laid to rest in her ancestral home in Nebi District. The first State of Affairs address to determine the progress of Moyo Sub-County. And Noya District releases 2.2 billion shillings for parish development model beneficiaries. This and more in the Nilecast News Bulletin. It's Saturday, the 1st of July, 2023, and you're most welcome to the Nilecast on Westnile Television. Now let us dive into some of the stories of the evening. Late Justice Stella Alach Amoko, who has laid to rest at her ancestral home in Juba Village, Jukia Ward, Nebi District, in a burial ceremony that was presided over by the Bishop of Nebi Catholic Diocese, Right Reverend Raphael Omponi Wakarach, who advised the civil servants and the Judicial Service Commission staff to always have truth passing out judgments. Alfred Jalwok reports more.
The Bishop of Nebi Catholic Diocese, Right Reverend Raphael Pomonyo Kurash, has advised civil servants and Judicial Service Commission staff to always have the truth while passing out judgments. The Bishop made this revelation during the funeral service of Lady Justice Stella Rash Amoko at Nebi Catholic Ceremonial Ground. According to the Bishop, Alur culture allows their natives to be buried in ancestral home. He commended the ruling of the court following the contention over where the body of Justice Stella Rash to be buried, but encouraged the bereaved family members to have faith as Stella Rash Amoko fought a good fight.
After all that has been spoken about her on the televisions and the compliments, the accolades, the great tribute that was given to her, I take all those and offer them as your prayer intentions for her. We Alur people have many traditions. You know us, know that some are odd elements of traditions, some are good. I don't know what category this one falls. That normally we are linked to our ancestral homeland.
I want to say our mother loved people a lot.
Meanwhile, Grace Christian Freedom, State Minister for Northern Uganda, urged the believers to always keep their faith as they care for one another. Kuyushwin added that Justice Stella Rash Amoko lived her life honorably and appealed to the mourners to emulate her good deeds and legacy she left behind.
We know how she was passionate about the girl child, about women empowerment. When lastly, Pakwach got a private girls' school, Ogenda Girls' School, she was passionate, she was there personally. She made her contribution materially and also financially. And every time she would ask about what women programs were there. I also remember when she led the Uganda chapter of the Association of the Women Judges to Arua, together with the late Justice Kikonyogo and our sister here, Justice Elizabeth. And they moved with a big drama group. They came to educate women on the law.
Justice Richard Butera, the Deputy Chief Justice, Republic of Uganda, in his speech, described Stella Arash Amoko as an instrumental judge who depended on the truth and transparency, who will be missed by many people.
As
as a High Court judge in 1997. She served in that position for 13 years. She was promoted to the Court of Appeal, Constitutional Court, where she served for 3 years between 2010 and 2013. Due to her diligence and industry, she was elevated to the Supreme Court bench on 20th June 2013, where she has served for almost 10 years. Honorable Dede Justice Alach was instrumental in the revival of the East African Community Affairs when she served as a judge and deputy principal judge of the East African Court of Justice between 2006 and 2013.
Meanwhile, Right Honorable Rukiana Kadama, the third Deputy Prime Minister, who was the chief guest during the burial, said the country has lost 3 justices within the period of 6 months. According to her, government has contributed 110 million shillings for the burial of Lady Justice Stella Arash Amoko. Lady Justice Stella Arash Amoko had a illustrious legal career spanning 44 years, and at the time of her death on June 17th this year, she was serving as a Justice of the Supreme Court, a position she was appointed in 2013. In January 2021, she was appointed as a member of the Judicial Service Commission, representing the judiciary, a position she held until her demise. She was born on 5th October 1945 and is survived by her husband, Ambassador James Idule Amoko, children and grandchildren.
Today marks the journey of no return. Our Lady Justice Awoko Stella, who died on 17th of this month, and she was buried today. Westnile TV, Alfred the Walk, Nile.
And more in our stories for the evening. The Bishop of Nebi Anglican Diocese, Right Reverend Ponzazele Awinju, received the Archbishop Church of Uganda Province, His Grace Dr. Stephen Kazimba Mugalu, at Pakwach Bridge for his pastoral visit to the West Nile region. Alfredo Jawok reports more.
The Archbishop of the Province of Church of Uganda visited Uganda College of Commerce in Pakwach Town Council, Pakwach District, in his pastoral visit to the Diocese of West Nile. The Archbishop, who arrived at 2 p.m., was filled with words of love and unity for the people of Pakwach, Nebi Anglican Diocese. In his words to the patients of Pakwach Health Center for His Grace, the most Archbishop expressed gratitude for the love people showed him at Pakwach Bridge.
Now may the Lord bless you. May the Lord take care of you. May the Lord take care of your families. The Lord take care of your education. May the Lord take care of the security here. May God bless you because you have received that so warmly. The MP moi, RDC de Mayor, all leaders, Judongo Sheke, Mothers Union, no. All of you, Wun Sheke, students, we are school, you have received us well. God bless you. God bless you. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen.
He said Christians should change their attitudes towards life by not dwelling on the past because no one was born with wealth. He described homosexuals as enemies of Christ. The Archbishop warned Christians to desist from homosexuality and focus on heavenly recognition by working hard and doing good.
To be taken for work. They recruit West Nile people to go and cut sugarcane.
Kabedu majiba shakudano be aitungo matungtung gibinu kene manju ponju gi kedemite mutich masagone mitongu tiang
iteru gi katongu tiang loka bunyoru gi kugine kubusoga. But later on the people saw it good to make sure this place becomes a better place to train people. Mungu walioshindwa ibijurutuo and also the caretaker. Mantu Bwokbe, the caretaker. Danu Magimio Kony, the doctor. Dakitari, the nurses. Kudanu Maginas. We pray for those who are sick in your health. Wakwayo Kudanu Magikwayo Kony Kibeni Mo. I pray that you take care of them. Yeah, it's great Kaka Gimaniti. The medicine you are using. Yeah, Magiti Kuru.
The Archbishop, Dr. Stephen Kazimba Mugalo, will be for 7 days in Nebi Anglican Diocese. Then he will proceed to Madi and Westnile Diocese. Alfred Jawok, Westnile TV.
And more in our stories for the evening. Moyo Sub-County held its first State of Affairs address, which attracted different stakeholders, ranging from political leaders, technocrats, and members of the public, in order to determine the progress of development in the district. Okumu Dominic reports more.
Moyo Sub-County holds the first State of Affairs address to determine the progress of the sub-county. The State of Affairs address, which attracted different stakeholders ranging from the political leaders, technocrats, and the members of the public, took place in the sub-county hall. Mr. Riri Dominic, the Assistant Senior Administrative Officer, Moyo District, said the sub-county have been planning and implementing activities. He therefore urged that let the strategies improve the weaknesses the sub-county has, saying it's not a unique thing but rather a normal thing to have such addresses, and it will continue to take place annually.
We are really planning and implementing what were the challenges faced. Then the strategies laid to improve on the weaknesses we have. It's not a unique event. It's supposed to be a normal event which has been delayed a bit, but it has now started. It will continue.
He further urged the leaders at the village level to exercise their roles in solving problems in the villages instead of forwarding them to the sub-county, which has been a habit of the leaders.
To put to you, more especially our leaders at the local level, at the village level, at times we are not happy. It seems we are not together. More especially issues among communities have not been addressed properly by you people. I don't know whether you either favor or fear. Simple issues. It is referred to sub-county chief. Referred to sub-county chief. Just a mere small theft of maybe a cock is referred to sub-county chief. What we want is you sit and resolve the issue. If the person does not want to behave, to respect your council, that's when you can now refer.
Honorable Bada Emmanuel, the district local councillor representing Moyo Sub-County to the district and also the former secretary for Works and Security, started his address by reading his handover message to the members and said he knows there are many sub-counties who may not organize the State of Affairs address due to the financial constraints and some leaders not following the rules of procedure, but he is happy that his sub-county has managed to organize theirs today.
I'm sure even within this financial year, other sub-counties are not going to conduct this. For purposes of the challenges may arise as a result of lack of finance in a particular sub-county. But the administrators and the chairpersons who are also adamant, they don't respect the policies. So I want to tell you that we need to be very grateful that ours has been arranged and it's going to take place, and it is taking place today. We need to be very grateful for this.
Honorable Asianzo Aurelia, the female district local councillor representing Moyo Sub-County, on her part talked about the issue of poor performance in schools, and she wonders what will come of the sub-county if some of the performing schools are carved out.
Is that way because of the state has enough in Moyo Sub-County? And if so, for example, out of the government-aided school, it is Moyo Boys, Moyo Army, sometimes Bilbao, which are performing very well to bring the mapping of Moyo Sub-County. And in case, if these three schools are collected in the municipality status, which school are we going to set to perform well in Moyo Sub-County?
Honorable Andre Lee Inyasio, the local council 3 Moyo Sub-County, started his address by calling this day a historical day in the history of Moyo Sub-County, since it is the first time such an address has been organized to enlighten the public about the trend of events in the sub-county.
That's a historical day in the history of Moyo Sub-County. As we assumed the office, I tried perusing through the files of those other days and years, but I did not see any event where accountability is given just like the manner we are doing it now.
In his address, the chairman also noted some challenges that the council is currently facing and urged them to work together to overcome them in the next financial year.
All this happened, but there comes challenges. The below challenges need to be addressed jointly in the next financial year, not only us, but not only you, but we need to work jointly here. Encroachment by the community members on roads. Some of us like DDEG Farm and Road Park. I don't know how we are going to work on this unless we need to also at least step up in our road, revenue collection strategies. We need to strategize our avenues of mobilizing funds. Deforestation and charcoal burning in the parishes of Area, Logoba, Afodzi need to be addressed.
Moyo Sub-County has 5 parishes, namely Area, Vuropi, Vura, Logoba, and Afodzi, with 25 villages. The sub-county is bordering Moyo Town Council in the east, Lefori Sub-County in the west, South Sudan in the south, and Aluru Sub-County in the north. I'm Dominic Antonio Kumu from Moyo.
And to end our nowcast for the evening, Noya District Local Government has released into the individual bank accounts of Parish Development Model beneficiaries over 2 billion shillings to start achieving the goal of eradication of poverty through different enterprises chosen. Stephen Okello reports more.
Jubilation with joy as locals in Noya District receive messages from their respective fund as PDM money hits their account. Over 200 members confirm receiving the message right at the district headquarters during the launch.
This money has come timely because now in the second season of the weather here in Noya District. So this money, the first thing that I'll put into use, I'll get the money from the bank and then hire a tractor and then go and plow my garden.
While others are yet to receive as the days go by.
We are dancing. We are launching.
According to Dr. Geoffrey, the district commercial officer, Noya District, despite going through series of challenges, all the 17,431 community members under various enterprises is expected to receive their money.
There's 272 beneficiaries will get a total of 269,700,000 today right away in their respective bank account.
Nantume Jennifer, the Chief Administrative Officer, Noya District Local Government, says government has earmarked 4.4 billion shilling for PDM in Noya District, and already 2.2 billion is now in the account of the district, which is now being distributed to the individual account through their SACCO.
It is at this time that you're going to get capital to start your small businesses. Because even the rich people, you see, they were not rich. They began small and grow big. So if I were you in a special way, we would thank the President of Uganda for having initiated this for me, and my people here, we are implementers.
However, Emmanuel Oraj, the chairman of Noya District, says for the program to achieve its goal in the district, government should consider empowering farmers with irrigation scheme, since majority of the beneficiaries are farmers.
We have some rivers that do not dry in Noya District.
We need more of these interventions to have irrigation schemes that can supply over 600 people spread across Noya district so that they cannot stop production. That is my request to the government.
Leaders in Noya district are crying to government to consider prioritizing the district with irrigation scheme. Of the SACCO members benefiting from Paris development model in the district are farmers who are depending on the current unpredictable weather pattern due to climate change. Stephen Okello for Westnile Television, Nilecast.
And with that story, viewer, we've come to the end of the Nilecast on Westnile Television. Thank you for being with us from the beginning of the Nilecast to the end of the Nilecast only on Westnile Television. Please stay tuned to the rest of the subsequent programs that may follow. My name is Okumaringa Christine. Have a good evening.